Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today I am doing the eyeshadow palette part 2 tag. I did the first part of this tag a while ago. I will leave it linked in the cards. And this tag was originally made by Samantha March and Allie Glines, both part 1 and part 2. I watched Amy Loves Makeup do this video. I'll recommend all of those channels. Amazing. So yeah, I'm basically going to go through the prompts and show you the eyeshadow palettes in my collection that follow those prompts. So if you love eyeshadow, makeup, my channel, me, any of the above, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, please click that subscribe button. I upload twice a week. It's totally free and subscribing would really help me and my channel out. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much, guys. I can't believe I've been doing this for over 2 years now. I'm having such a great time with you all, chatting in the comments, making content. I really appreciate you. So go ahead and click that like button and let's get into the tag. All right, so this one was a thinker, guys, because there were some really hard prompts this time. So the first one was, what is your all-time favorite palette? That's a hard prompt. All time? Especially because I feel like what I want depends on my mood and the occasion. So favorite is hard because favorite for what? You know what I mean? But I just thought about it and thought, you know, I still have to say this one if I only have to pick one, because there was a time when I thought about considering buying a backup of this palette, and I don't do that with makeup. Like, I don't have a backup of eyeshadow who goes through a whole eyeshadow palette, but I was considering it for this palette, and that tells me something. So it was limited edition. It's discontinued now, unfortunately, but this is the Lunar Beauty Moon Spell palette. I'm sure you've all seen it. Gorgeous, gorgeous palette. And here's the inside if you haven't seen it, but nothing just captures my soul like this. Like, between the greens and the purples, my favorite colors for eyeshadow, and like this shade Prue. Okay, so I don't have an inner corner on in the look I'm wearing right now. It's a blue look, but I need to show you Prue, so I'm just gonna take a little bit here just to show you. Ooh! It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. This is probably the first, like, kind of flaky, shimmery, ultra glitzy eyeshadow like this formula of Prue that I ever tried. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little on the brow bone just for good measure. And once I had tried this, I never went back. Never went back. Hopefully you can see the little bit of glint in the corner that added. But for that shade alone, favorite. Amazing. I don't have Moonspell Part 2, but I did order the Lunar Beauty mystery boxes that just came out. So if you're interested in seeing what I got in that, stay tuned, it's coming. Second prompt is, what is your new favorite palette? So like something that you've been loving recently. And this was a surprise to me, guys. This is from ColourPop and it is the Mandalorian palette. Wes and I love all things Mandalorian, Star Wars, Boba Fett we're watching right now. So I had to have this just because of the fact that it was Star Wars. I have the Child palette, but I was not expecting how much I've been reaching for this palette. Honestly, for work too, like on a daily basis, I love these cool tones. And I didn't think I would, but like just this one right here, the shimmer, it's really nice just to throw like a couple of these in the crease, that all over the lid, done, ready to go. It's nice. And like I said, every time I'm like, what do we want to use today? I keep reaching for this one, so it's my new favorite as of right now. An eyeshadow palette that I keep for the memories. So this one, I don't even know if I've shown this in my channel. It's old, you guys. This is from Ulta Beauty. It was a collab with Melissa Michelle. I don't follow Melissa Michelle. This is when I was first starting to get like more into makeup, and I got this eyeshadow palette. And there's actually some decent dents in a lot of the shades in here. It's good quality, especially considering, I mean, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but considering it's Ulta, because they're kind of hit or miss on their quality, this is really nice. It's before I knew like pressed glitters were a no-no around the eye area, so it's got one in there. But I really liked mauve-y brown tones for some reason. I wore those a lot. And I pulled this out and was like, this actually is pretty nice quality. I should be using this more. I guess I just don't, because it's not like, there's nothing special about it. Like, I have so many transformative special shades from Clionadh now, and from Kaleidos and other brands, like what I'm wearing on my eyes today, that I just don't gravitate towards the like, it's fine eyeshadow palettes anymore. But this is fine, and I should be wearing this more for like at work. Not that I'm like worried to wear something like this to work, but this takes time. And so for work, usually I just want like 1 or 2 mattes in the crease and a shimmer all over the lid, just so I can do my makeup in like 10 minutes and be done. And that palette definitely offers that. So there it is. I guess the memories with that one too are like me just having memories of like learning to do makeup and like having more than just, it comes with this stupid little thing. The handle's actually gorgeous quality, but the little spongy applicators, like I think I got this palette about when I first got my first brush set and stopped using these kind of like plastic spongy crap application things that they put in there. So I just have a lot of memories of like experimenting and learning with makeup that are, I don't know, just good memories of makeup. An eyeshadow palette that is not a favorite, but I can't get rid of it. Another Lunar Beauty. Who would have thought the same brand would make my favorite eyeshadow of all time, and also one that I don't really like. So I was being a collector of the brand, so that's why I got this one. This is the Greek Goddess palette. And I just don't think the formula is as good as the other palettes. I much prefer Moonspell or Strawberry Dream, Lunar Eclipse, even Life's a Drag. I've got the facelift. All of them, I prefer the formula. These are, to me, kind of hard pressed. So I've only used it a few times because it's just, I don't know. It's not that it's bad, it's workable, but it's not my favorite formula. And I think he's changed and updated his formula since then. But it is an easy 1-2 swipe go neutral palette. It just doesn't perform the way I would love, but I'm not gonna get rid of it because it's Lunar Beauty, and I mean, let's face it, I don't get rid of anything. I hoard my makeup, I use it, so I'm not gonna get rid of it, but that one's not my favorite. All right, my favorite collab palette, hands down, and I've seen this as answers in a lot of other people's videos too, but it's true, is the Kaleidos Club Nebula. All of the mattes and the shimmer blue on my eyes right now are from this palette. The only thing not from my palette is the silver on the inner portion. That is from Clionadh, and that is gonna be, I did film this look. It's gonna be coming in an upcoming video too, so if you're interested, stay tuned for that. Here is the palette. I'm gonna keep the little plastic piece on it because my green Firefly shade is broken and the plastic is going to keep her in her pan so she doesn't totally fall out. But there's the colors of that one, and this is the first Kaleidos palette I ever tried, actually. And I wasn't gonna get this palette at first because I was like, what would I even do with that color story? Like, what would I even do with that? And then the first time it sold out, I started seeing reviews and went, oh, that's what I could do with that palette? Maybe I would like that palette. And I got it, and I cannot believe I almost missed out on that. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. How many times can I say I cannot believe it? Even blue, the shade that I am least comfortable with wearing, looks amazing from that palette. The shimmers, the topper shades, especially paired with the glitter glue, are divine, next level, uncomparable to a lot of other brands. And I'm very lucky that I was able to snag one. I'm very happy I have that in my collection. It's gorgeous. I hate raving about it when you can't get it. I wish that Angie would do a video trying to like dupe out this palette because I feel like a lot of people would like that. Not even just for the mattes, because there's been other palettes that I've seen that have like the dark mattes that remind me of the palette, but specifically the shimmer and topper shades, finding dupes for those. I feel like that's something Bad to the Brow would do. Her channel's great. All right, next up is my favorite eyeshadow palette of 2021, and this one had to go to Glam Matrix, the U Beauty palette. I feel like I've talked about this palette a lot in different tag videos and things like that, but I don't think I've ever used it on camera, which is a shame. I'm already starting to get a very small divot in Chalkers, this purple shimmery one, and yeah, another one that, just like the Club Nebula palette, at first I was like, what would I even do with that? That's such a random color story. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, it's not random, because a lot of times I'll do like this cool tone and I'll deepen it up with this shade, and then I'll use one of these two multi-chromes. I've also done it where I've done more of like the blue in the crease and like use this quad of blueness. I've used Old Mate all over the lid, just Old Mate as the gold, gorgeous. And I think, yeah, I've used the yellow too and done like a look with this bottom row. That's been really nice. And I've done more of this like cool toned with the purple. Like, there's actually a lot you can do with this. And Decay and Flaming Gala, the multi-chromes, again, a formula which once I tried it, I thought this palette was stupidly expensive. Like, why would it ever cost that? I almost didn't get it because of the price. And part of that is because it's from Australia and it's $20 for shipping that it costs so much in the end for me. And I was like, I have palettes that are $20 period. But I took a chance on it, and once I tried it, it was one of those palettes where I went, now I get why they're charging that, because it is rare for shadows to perform this way and for them to have this many flips. I already have some highlighter on. Okay, I already have highlighter on, but I just want to put a little of Decay on my finger to show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see the shifts on camera, but it is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. And next to Flaming Gala, Decay is more of like a gold with shifts. Flaming Gala has more like pinky shifts. This one is Flaming Gala. They are both stunning. And they're more like translucent toppery shades, but I have found that if you use a glitter primer, you can make them opaque on the eyelid if you want to. All right, so an eyeshadow palette that I did not expect to love from BH Cosmetics, the Blueberry Muffin palette. Why? Cause it's blue, people. Now, part of why I ended up getting it is because what I realized when I really looked at it, it's not that many blues. There's 1, 2, 3, I think 4 blues really, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest of them, like these are not really blue, right? We've got more of like a deep browny purpley, brown, black, such a deep blue that it just looks like black to me, at least when you put it on, and then like some grayish blue shades. So I ended up getting it, and this again, I've worn this to work a lot and had coworkers go, what is that eyeshadow palette you're wearing? So it's wearable enough for like school, for public school teacher, that people aren't like, oh, clown makeup at work, huh? But it's a little special and a little extra. Especially the shimmers. I'll swatch again a couple of them on my fingers here. I guess I'm not really swatching, I'm just showing them on my fingers, but the shades Yummy and Cravings are my two favorites. And so this one, it's like kind of a beige base, and it's got kind of like a bluey purpley shimmer in it. And then the other one is Cravings, which is a bit lighter and it's more icy. And I've used these for sure. I'm already wearing highlighter, but you know, let's not waste the product. I've worn I've worn Cravings as a highlighter. Yummy doesn't work so much as a highlighter just because it does have kind of like a beige base to it that doesn't work on my fair skin tone, but Cravings for sure works. And I've also used Sweet, which is a gold, and Sugared as highlighters as well, and they're really nice. I've used the blues and silver in this as well. I did kind of like a Y2K Britney Spears inspired moment for Spirit Week, and this is the palette I used. So was not expecting that at all out of this palette, that I would love it as much as I do. All right, next is a palette that sparks joy. Okay, now let me preface this with if you are new-ish to my channel or you don't know me very well, okay, I'm 100% a 30-year-old cat lady. Okay, so this will make sense. Yes, and when I say cat lady, I have 3 cats, and yeah, the Wesley being here is the only reason I don't just feel like a cat lady spinster. And so I had to have the Pizza Kitty palette, right, from Sugar Drizzle. I love carbs. What woman doesn't? I mean, come on. So the fact that we've got pizza, burgers, tacos, fries, all with a cat on here is great. It's kind of cheesy and corny, but I kind of also love that about this. And it's just got all shimmers, all transformative shades. I've loved this every time I've busted it out. Space Meow has been my favorite so far. Again, I'll put a couple of these on the finger. The feeling of some of these reminds me a lot of the shimmers from Unearthly Cosmetics, but some of them are more of that like pressed flaky feeling formula. Some of them are more like a regular shimmer or metallic, kind of like Space Dog, I think is the other one that I've used a lot and liked. So here is Space Meow. It's more of that like glittery, glitzy color, and it's got kind of like silvery, bluey, purple multi-chrome. And then Space Dog has, it's almost like that shade that I showed you in the Blueberry Muffin palette, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Weird, that where it has like that gray beige base to it, and then it's got a little bit more of like brownie blue color to it. But then we've also got blue and purple and pink. Like, you can go so many directions with this one, and it just sparks joy for me to read shade names like Intergalactic Purr. I mean, come on. And Space Meow, like, I wore this palette on New Year's Eve, and I had to tell my family when I went over to their house for New Year's Eve, like, guess what the shadow name is that I'm wearing? And they were like, what? And I was like, Space Meow. And they were like, is that supposed to mean something? I'm like, nope, literally a cat in space. And they were kind of like, that's weird, but also like, that's why I love it. I don't know, I'm just geeking out. I like weird, geeky, cheesy stuff, guys. I don't know what to tell you. All right, next up is the newest palette in my collection. I haven't even used this yet. I am trying to be on a low buy, but I got this because they were doing a 25% off sale. And this is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, the Surge palette. I wasn't sure about this one, guys. I passed up on the first one because I don't need an all matte rainbow palette. I don't know, the Dollhouse, like, at first I was like, I'm not really into neutrals, but then it's kind of got a twist on it, so I don't know, maybe someday. But I was trying to do low buy, so I was like, okay, one is what you can have, Caitlin. And this is the one I went with because, hello, y'all know I love my grungy tones, and we've got grunge in here. Specifically, this row of deep mattes made me want it. These mid-tones and these pastels. And then the shimmers were great too. I don't know how much I'm gonna use these neons. Like, when's the last time you guys saw me do a, like, neon look? Have I ever on this channel? I don't know. Like, maybe in summer. I don't know. But I just don't go for those as much. So I could have done with the palette that was a little less and just had, like, these 4 rows and been, like, my perfect palette. I've got the 5th row. I don't know how much I'll use it. They are quite vibrant. I'm sure it's showing up on camera, too, just how bright they are in comparison to the others. But they are fluorescent. So I'm looking forward to using that one. Let me know if you'd like to see just like a dedicated video or something on the Surge palette in the comments below. Be happy to do that for y'all. All right, next up is an underrated eyeshadow palette. You guys might be surprised about this. This is an older one too. So this is from Essence, and it is the Spiritual Gangster palette. I know, right? An Essence palette. So it opens kind of like a book, and you've got shadows on the top and the bottom. And they're not the most pigmented, but they do have good staying power. And I got this when I was first diving into color, where it was like, okay, I want something more than neutrals, but I didn't want like the fluorescent row of the Blend Bunny palette that I just showed you guys. And this was my happy medium. And I really love these like oranges and golds up here in particular. They're really, really nice. I also kind of like these purples down here. They're muted tones for sure. So I liked going to this when I want color, but I don't want like as much color that is on my eyes now. Like, this is pretty poppin'. So this is just like, I want to dip my toes into color. So I would say if you can find this, like, it's nice quality. Like, it's not chalky, but it is muted. So if you're wanting like pigment, this is not the one. If you just want something that's going to be like buildable, like a little wash of color, this is really underrated. Like this whole line of Essence palettes I thought were really good because they came out with a bunch of them that opened and closed like a book, and they're really nice. I've got some dents in quite a few of these shadows. And the last one of this tag, you guys, is what is the first palette that you used in 2022? And this one is from Glam Beauty, and it is their Victory palette. Yeah, so I wanted to do my makeup on New Year's Day, and I used this one. Since I had done such a vibrant, colorful look on New Year's Eve, I'll actually link the video of Wesley doing my voiceover, because that's the look that I wore on New Year's Eve and did then, in case you want to see it. But the artwork, oh my goodness, amazing. And the inside, love the moon. Here's the color story. It's pretty neutral, right? But this is the first one I used of the year, and Loot is amazing. This one right here for an inner corner. And I've actually used Glory in Gold quite a few times as well. I've used this for work. I haven't delved into Glass Cannon, which is actually the reason I bought this palette, even though it is blue. It just is this like really light, so let me get a better swatch on my finger here. Really light, kind of iridescent. You know what? Maybe this would be a pretty good dupe. I was just talking about dupes for Kaleidos. Maybe this would be really close to like this shade right here, this sparkly, I think it's called Astro. That might be similar. Maybe I'll be the one to do swatch comparisons for you guys. Let me know if you want to see that, me trying to find dupes for the shimmers in the Club Nebula palette, because you can't get it anymore, but that's the first one I used in 2022. So that is it, guys. That is all of my selections for the eyeshadow tag Volume 2. Maybe there will be a Volume 3. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to play along, answer these questions with your own answers. Just if you want to answer a couple. What you guys think of my picks? Were there anything that I mentioned that you were like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that palette? I definitely did when I was looking through my collection and was like thinking about things. Like I said, like this one that I was like, I have that? I kind of forgot, which again just proves I need to be using my collection and trying not to buy too many new things, although the occasional new goodie is fine. Thanks so much, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye!